It was right before I got pregnant with William, so 22?
22.
22?
Okay.
The worst part of my duty was an EMS assist. We had a habitual customer where he was 700 pounds and we had to carry his ass every time he had a medical emergency. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Good God.
And carry him? That's insane.
Oh, yeah, your poor back, right, Monkey Toes?
Wow.
There's a Gavin.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Days later, the stolen car was located back in Los Angeles, and, despite his efforts to wipe the vehicle clean, investigators were able to find a single fingerprint on the car's rearview mirror. The fingerprint was run through the police databases and found to be a positive match for Richard Ramirez.
Got him.
The next day, Richard's name and face were released to the public. The whole state of California and beyond knew the Night Stalker's true identity. On August 30th, 1985, Richard had decided...
It looked like they roughed him up a bit. He looked a little, beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Aww. This is when the devil takes his due, man.
That's right. You got it.
...decided to visit his brother who lived in Tucson, Arizona. Unbeknownst to him, his face was plastered on every newspaper and every television station in the state of California. Unfortunately for Richard, there was an issue with meeting up with his brother, and so he backtracked his travels to return to Los Angeles.
Man,
Richard
okay, it looks like, wait, let's go back here. Just what I see. Alright, so it looks like his forehead got kicked up. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely his nose. He took a boot to the face, dude.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you bet he took a boot to the face?
Something like that.
Yeah, it looks like they broke his nose, too. It's bent, man.
Oh.
Man. Was it worth it, bro?
For Richard, there was an issue with meeting up with his brother, and so he backtracked his travels to return to Los Angeles. Richard ended up back in L.A. early on the morning of August 31st, and though he didn't know it,
Oh my God, Ted, though I had a chuckle when he was confused on why we had to cut his wall out, and my chief literally looked at him and said, if you can get yourself through that door, we'll put the saws away.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Pretty nuts.
Oh my God. He shut up pretty quick. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, they're trying to save your life, dude, and you're bitching and complaining because you eat too much. Like, dude, get some therapy.
Investigators had been tracking his every move. Police believed that the Night Stalker would attempt to flee on an outbound bus, so they lined up all over the block in the hopes to stop him. Richard had noticed the police officers and managed to keep his head low and avoid being spotted as he walked into a nearby convenience store. That is, until a group of women caught a glimpse of him. The group of old Mexican women shrieked in fear and called out frantically that the man before them was none other than El Matón, the killer. Richard looked around in a panic as he realized that dozens of magazines in the store had one face staring down at him, his own. Richard fled from the store as fast as he could and even darted across the busy Santa Ana freeway in the middle of traffic in an attempt to get away. In his mad dash for a hiding place, Richard attempted to carjack a variety of vehicles, but was unsuccessful in each attempt. All of a sudden, bystanders watching Richard run realized they were in the presence of the Night Stalker in broad daylight. Together, a group of residents from the neighborhood managed to tackle him to the ground.
Oh, man!
No shit.
The residents got him, not even the police.
Wow.
Hell yeah, man. That's called community.
Yeah, that is. Definitely.
Yeah. People need to start doing that again with these mass killers, man.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Like, don't be afraid of that stuff. You're being a hero. You're saving people, man.
Yep.
Trust me. Jesus would do it. Jesus would do it to save others. You know, Spock did it. Spock said the 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 what was it? The many outweigh the few or the one. Right? Right? Wow. That's awesome. He deserved that shit.
No doubt.
I hope he was scared.
And even managed to strike Richard over the head with a metal bar,
Oh!
forcing the serial killer to fall to his knees in pain.
That's what it was.
The group of Good Samaritans relentlessly beat the subdued Richard until police arrived and promptly arrested him for his brutal crime spree.
I hope they didn't charge anyone with assault.
No, they didn't.
Nah, man. Woo! That's crazy. Right? I'm not the gal.
They fucked him up.
Yeah, dude.
We don't want that in our neighborhood, man.
That's awesome.
Richard was then finally taken to court for his horrific attacks and murders. He is famously remembered for shouting during the court proceedings and drawing a pentagram on his hand, which he showed to the court, as well as another in his blood on the wall of his cell. Interestingly, the state of Richard's teeth ended up being a turning point in his trial. Richard was known to have decaying teeth, and by the time he was in jail, 9 of his teeth were rotting, while some were missing altogether from both his upper and lower jaw.
So?
His father had provided him with an alibi during his trial, stating that Richard had been in Texas during one of the weeks where there had been 3 attacks, and therefore...
Why did they put that in there about the teeth rotting?
Teeth rotting. That's weird. I don't
Laugh
know.
out loud. I've had homeless people try to attack when they start fires at their camps in the woods, and we go there and put them out. They cut that shit right out when we started going back with the Halligan bars in hand. Yeah, love that. He's an idiot. Yeah, hell Satan, I'm in jail because I did stupid things for him. God. Dingus was delusional.
4 could not be the killer. Yet a dentist from Los Angeles later testified that he had actually treated Richard for his rotting teeth during that time period, proving that his father had lied. On September 20th, 1989, Richard Ramirez was convicted of 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries.
Good.
On November 7th, 1989, Richard was sentenced to 19 respective death sentences in the state of California via gas inhalation.
Ah, he's gonna choke to death.
You have to die 19 times over.
Dang.
They're gonna really pump that gas in.
Woo! You earned it.
Yeah, he did.
Now you can go to hell with Satan.
Yeah.
Woo!
You'd have your party, whatever you think.
There is no party in hell. That's the lie.
What you thought was gonna be there. That's it.
After his sentencing was revealed, Richard told reporters, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory. See you in Disneyland."
What?
My God. Wow, he didn't even care. It's like, who cares?
Holy shit.
Holy
Wow.
shit, man. Oh my God, Eli, that is the cutest little thing I've ever seen.
That's 90s looking.
Oh my God, that is adorb.
What the hell is that?
Minty Pea Dance. What is that? That is so adorb.
That's a little bear?
Minty Pillow. I'm gonna follow them. Oh my God, that is too cute.
It's a little dancing bear.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it so
That
much.
is cute.
Oh, what do we got here? Pippin default dance? Oh my god, this is great, guys.
Emojis are cool.
Oh
The little bell.
my god, that's too cute.
It's really cute.
That quote alone sent shivers down the news reporters' spines.
Let's go to Charlie.
But perhaps one of the most chilling parts of Richard's trial was the overwhelming obsession that countless women had with the man who wreaked havoc throughout Southern California. In fact, multiple women who claimed to be fans of Richard would write him letters and even pay him visits in prison. One woman in particular.
Oh my god, Ted, that's great. That one is great.
What is that?
It's a dude sitting on Jesus's lap, man.
Oh, really?
Here.
Oh my god. I can barely tell that's what it is, but yeah, okay. That's hilarious.
He's got a fucking fedora on.
That's great.
Particular, Doreen Leoy, wrote Richard around 75 letters in total during his incarceration.
Holy shit.
Doreen described Richard as, quote, "He's kind, he's funny, he's charming. I think he's a really great person. He's my best friend. He's my buddy."
Nice.
Richard asked Doreen to marry him, and despite the fact that he would be in prison for the rest of his life until he was executed, they were married within the walls of San Quentin State Prison in October of 1996.
Christ.
For years after their official wedding date, Doreen swore to reporters, friends, and family members alike that she would take her life the same day that Richard was to be executed.
What?
She serves Satan as well, I assume.
Gotta be. That has to be the case, yeah.
Like, Jesus, woman. He ain't worth it.
Madness.
That's some Chantel shit.
Probably.
However, their supposed love did not seem to last. Doreen eventually left Richard, for one reason or another that was never expressed publicly, though some have speculated Doreen became disturbed at Richard's lack of empathy for his crimes. Richard did not seem to mind much. In fact, Richard eventually ended up engaged yet again, this time to a 23-year-old writer, Christine Lee. Because of the state of California's notoriously lengthy appeals process, Richard Ramirez would have been in his early 70s by the time his execution was properly carried out. However, the infamous Night Stalker never made it that far. On June 7th, 2013, Richard died of complications secondary to B-cell lymphoma at Marion
Cancer.
General Hospital in Green Bay, California.
God gave him cancer.
Aw, you had a painful death, dude.
Lymphoma.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep, he died in pain. I mean, do you feel sad for him?
Is thirsty a euphemism for horny?
Yes.
Okay, I'm starting to understand that now.
Oh, bless your old man heart.
Yeah, I never heard that. So I'm getting that now.
Dude's nut.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for
53 years
him.
old. Though Richard can no longer torture the residents of the greater Los Angeles area, his victims and their families feel little closure in the Night Stalker's death. Rather, Richard Ramirez's story serves as a reminder that monsters are real and they are vicious. Richard was a cruel killer, one with no remorse whatsoever. If you take anything away from this episode, we hope it is this.
So how about this? Since he has no remorse for others, why should we have remorse for him?
Mm-hmm. I don't.
I don't. I think he got what he deserved at the end of the day.
He was a very disgusting person, period.
Yeah.
Not much redeeming.
But at the end of his like cycle, God was like, "Nope, you're not taking this one.
Yeah.
Nope, you're not taking this one. Nope, you're not taking this one."
Yeah, he saved people.
He did.
That's the Lord too. It definitely was.
Definitely.
You could feel that shit.
And you're right, Eileen. He is God's problem.
Yep.
All right, honey, try
Yeah.
not to get too angry.
I won't.
This is most likely a hit piece.
Yeah, that's.
It always is,
It's okay.
but maybe we could try to explain it.
Maybe.
You know, first one, he didn't have a fair trial.
No. That's definite.
You know, whatever.
There's a bunch of innuendo. We know this.
Oh, you didn't mean to do that? Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It happens.
Yeah, Eli, that was an accident. Sorry.
That's all right. It happens.
That's okay. It happens.
What is up, Iwu crew? The story we have for you today is one to surely give you nightmares and even have you.
What you want from me, motherfucker? I could be Jesus or the devil in the same day. You dig?
Sounds like Vaughn.
Kind of, a little bit. I always think of Amanda Breck with Manson.
Really?
Amanda Breck definitely has a Manson vibe, but in a good way. It's like I thought he was cool, dude.
Rethinking the people with whom you spend your time, especially those who you think you can trust.
Yeah.
We are going to look into the horrific realities of the infamous story of Charles Manson and some of the lesser-known conspiracies surrounding this case. If you enjoy true crime, mysteries, and true stories, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let's get into it.
No, I don't have a new Amazon wish list. I'm not doing it again because I don't want that shit to keep happening because it will.
Pressing.
In early 1934, 16-year-old Kathleen Maddox hit a crossroad.
Oh, that's a beautiful car.
Oh, old school, dude. That's real old school.
Oh, that's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I hear a hairball.
Is that a boy?
Is he gonna have a hairball?
I don't think so.
Do we have to clean up his puke?
It's no big deal. I do it. It's alright.
You okay, Gavin? You
It's
okay?
Yeah, he's soft.
He's getting older. We may have to get him hairball control food.
I never seen him struggle. He's.
I know the older they get, the more they do that, though.
Okay. Well, if
Cats.
to be a problem, we'll do it.
Yeah, just trust me on this. I know cats.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for them to do the disturbing origins of Shanny for Christ.
No.
Well, I would never intentionally harm someone ever.
Yeah, I can say that for me too. I would never do that.
So I don't think you're gonna see that.
I don't think I'm capable.
In her life,
I'm not.
when she realized that she was pregnant with a child from a man by the name of Colonel Walker Henderson Scott Sr., who she had been seeing for only a short amount of time. Despite the sound of his name, Colonel had no affiliation with the military, though he did have Kathleen convinced that he had been called away on Army business as soon as he found out that he was going to be a father. Following Colonel's inevitable abandonment, Kathleen found herself in a new relationship with a man named William Eugene Manson. Despite sticking around for her pregnancy, he still wasn't an appropriate partner, as he was often prone to alcoholism. They were married in August 1934. 3 months later, on November 12th, 1934, in Cincinnati, Ohio, Kathleen gave birth to a baby boy, who she named No Name Maddox.
Oh, they got hitched. No Name Maddox. They didn't even name him. Oh. He was never loved.
He's a throwaway.
Yeah.
I think God made him a prophet, to be honest. That's my take on him.
Before eventually calling him Charles Mills Maddox, within a few weeks of his birth. By April of 1937, William divorced Kathleen after an alleged gross neglect of duty when taking care of Charles. Upon their divorce, Charles took William's last name, Manson.
Oh,
He was never loved.
no. No.
It's sad, man.
He needed love. Because I think in his own way, he had a lot of love in him. He was smart as fuck, I know that.
Yeah.
He was a very smart man.
Thus, the infamous Charles Manson received the name that would end up going down in history, but for all the wrong reasons. Charles' childhood was tumultuous, to say the least. A few years after his parents' divorce, Charles's mother was arrested for both assault and robbery and ended up in prison for 5 years. Charles did not cope well with his mother's imprisonment. When Kathleen was finally released on parole in 1942, Charles was a visibly different child. It appeared to his aunt and uncle, whom he lived with during his mother's sentence, that Charles was the happiest he had ever been when he was finally reunited with his mother. Unfortunately for Charles, she was incapable of keeping herself out of trouble for very long and had an insatiable desire to commit crime. Just months after having moved herself and
That's where he learned how to do those petty crimes. From his mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bless you.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh.
That's a body response. You can't help that.
Oh.
My girls.
Pity. That's all I feel. It's just pity. Because just like, if people just did the right
You
thing.
looking for that?
No, I'm looking for my phone. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, it's right here. No, I didn't get any Wendy's Chotosaurus. I would love some Wendy's chili, though.
Chotosaurus. That's a great name. Peridium Rex.
Right.
Peridium Rex.
Exactly.
It's pretty great.
Charles to Charleston, West Virginia, Kathleen was inevitably arrested for grand larceny. Though she was never convicted for the crime, Kathleen nonetheless found herself in a bad place once more. She had continually allowed for Charles to skip school and maintained her old drinking habits nearly every evening without fail. Eventually, Charles and his mother ended up moving again, this time to Indianapolis, where his mother remarried, and Charles ended up committing his first series of crimes. The thing about Charles Manson, even as a boy, was that once he started something, he could never, ever stop. When Charles was only 9 years old, he committed his first act of arson by literally single-handedly burning down his elementary school.
Holy
You see,
shit.
Charles was a troubled kid.
He was angry. He wasn't loved. His mother taught him crime.
Yeah. Yep.
Ugh. That's heartbreaking, dude. 9 years old and wanting to do that crap.
Yeah.
Like, was he just into fire, or did he do it like, he may have just liked fire and did it by accident and it got caught on fire. It may not have been like done intentionally.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. He's
I don't know.
9.
Yeah. That's horrible. Either way.
I know.
But-
Who desperately wanted to be loved and accepted by his mother.
There we go.
Unfortunately,
There we go. He desperately wanted to be loved and accepted by his mother, so he started acting out. I bet he was BPD.
Probably.
Early childhood trauma, man. I bet he was BPD.
Yeah.
Fortunately for Charles, Kathleen's mind was almost always somewhere else, as she seemed to focus on drinking, men, and survival. By the age of 13, Charles was forced to attend the Jabot School for Boys in Terre Haute, Indiana. As was evident to anyone who had known Charles at the time, the last thing he wanted was to be away from his mother. As such, he frequently ran away from the Jabot School for Boys, and often wound up on the streets in his trek to reach his mother's home by foot. However, every time he managed to reunite with his mother, she would send him straight back to the school for male delinquents. With each escape from the school grounds, Charles's antics became more and more risky. He slowly began robbing stores and even committing petty theft while working for Western Union to make a little extra cash. After months of getting away with...
Well, you know what? His mom doesn't, give a shit about him. Why should he care about anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to think of it from his perspective. Like, no one gave a shit about this kid.
Yeah. That's right.
They all threw him away. I wouldn't have. I'd make sure he'd get into a good program so he could get better. Like, he needed that. But instead, they put him in a school with delinquent kids. Alright, well, if you want to give me the video, please put it on my Twitter at Shanny Needs Love or DM me on my Instagram as Shanny Needs Love.
These smaller robberies, Charles was eventually caught for the first time in 1949. Instead of a proper sentence, a judge took sympathy on young Charles and sent him to a juvenile facility in Omaha, Nebraska, called Boys Town instead. After all, it did not look like Charles was a bad kid, necessarily. Just a boy who saw himself as an outcast against the rest of the world, including his own mother. Of course, Charles could not seem to control himself when it came to committing crime, and instead of becoming reformed, he made friends who had the same values as his own, and continued to steal what he could in hopes of getting away with it. Each time Charles was caught and arrested, he was sent to some new establishment for delinquent boys in hopes that the rules and regulations there could help turn him into a better man. Ultimately, Charles's time spent at the Indiana Boys' School proved to be the worst situation he had experienced yet.
Yeah, he was thrown away and just told he was bad his whole life. What did you fucking expect?
Yeah. It's true.
Like, usually kids act out like that if they're looking for attention.
Mm-hmm.
And he never got the attention that he needed. You know? Maybe a mother to hug him or something.
Yeah.
At the school, other students would allegedly abuse Charles, forcing him to come up with a special form of self-defense he dubbed the insane game. When an attack seemed imminent, he would flail his arms about and scream incoherent phrases and sounds, trying to scare his attackers away by making them think that he was not of sound mind and perhaps even dangerous. For the most part, this method worked for Charles to protect himself. However, he was still completely miserable while locked within the walls of the Indiana Boys' School. While there, Charles managed to escape on 18 different occasions. On his final escape attempt, Charles was arrested, having stolen a vehicle on his way across state lines. As this was a federal crime, he was sent to Washington, D.C.'s National Training School for Boys. The caseworker aiding Charles' transfer had hoped that this transition would be enough for Charles to properly shape up before he became an adult. As part of his entry to the facility, officials noted that Charles was almost entirely illiterate, though his IQ was 109, making him undoubtedly smart, yet very reckless. An often dangerous combination. Manson was in and out of prison from October 1951 to 1967 for various crimes, such as more stolen cars, abuse, and even pimping out underage girls for extra cash.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly every time he was close to parole,
Oh, I didn't know.
something inside of Charles seemed to snap, making him lash out in ways that ended up negatively affecting his predetermined release dates. As a result,
Maybe he felt trapped his whole life and no one allowed him to be, like, no one allowed him to, like, bloom. No one encouraged him.
Having support.
No, he had no support. None.
Mm-mm.
This is why support is so important when in regards of mental illness. Because this stuff happens. This is why we need, like, children need, special support when trauma happens. Like, you don't want to overly traumatize your child.
Mm-mm.
And he was. His mom was a criminal too. You know? Charlie didn't know any other life. It's all he knew. It was what his mother taught him. He didn't know any better. And yeah, he was sent from one facility to another facility. But in his eyes, it was like his mom pushing him away.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he ever was tested for mental illness. Let me check.
I'm pretty sure they had him on meds, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
They're saying schizophrenia. And then he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. That would make sense if he was abused as a child like that and pushed away.
Definitely. Bullied and shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense.
He was also diagnosed with schizophrenia and paranoid delusional disorder. Bless. This is why mental health is important and people need to get help. Everyone. Okay. People keep saying that. Watermelon speaks. All right.
Watermelon.
I hope it's not dirt. If it's a hit piece.
It's supposed to be just cute.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
I don't want my feelings hurt. Okay.
My coffee.
Bonjour, Kerry, mon cher. C'est moi, dear. Vous donnez long? How do you say?
That's so cute. The floof.
The flute.
Yes.
But just between us girls, yes? My real name is Caroline Noir.
Caroline Noir.
But I must confess, I am just a Kit Kat in love.
Oh my god, I love
But
this.
this is joking. I am in love with the one they call DJ Son.
Baby.
The petite carotte.
Oh my god.
But,
Wow.
mon chéri, it will be him. The dark one. She never ever leaves his side. I make pee-pee on the table. Still she will not leave.
I make pee-pee on the
I am
table.
making my little poops in all of her makeup. But
Oh,
still she will not leave.
talks like a French woman.
And then I think, aha, if she has no
This
food,
is
she
awesome,
will
actually.
leave. So I sit on
On
the
the
pizza
pizza.
box. And I am thinking, Caroline, she would just as soon devour me to get to the pizza. And do you see? Here I must stay on guard. For the day, Legisune will grow some balls again. And we will go far, far away from the dark one.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
That's
A bientôt.
She's so cute. All right,
Wow,
that was cute.
That was
But
really
why
good.
do I have to be labeled as the dark one?
Because that's your role or something.
I don't want to be looked at that.
I know that.
Why am I always digged like that?
That was cute though. The little digs here. And by the way, the carrot that they show is not a baby carrot.
No.
That's not a baby carrot.
No.
That's a regular carrot.
Yeah.
You want to say I have a regular carrot?
You're going to make men feel insecure.
No, I don't feel insecure about it at all.
No, it was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute. Stop making me into some kind of horrible, like, villainous. I am not Maleficent.
No.
Or Ursula.
No, you're more. You're Elsa.
Yeah, I'm Elsa.
You're Elsa. Definitely, that's your princess.
Hi, baby.
That's a baby boy. Do you think that's why they made Elsa to represent emotionally damaged girls?
Maybe.
I think that's why they made her. That she does. Because Jasmine is with it. She's just a princess.
Hi, baby.
Cinderella's with it. She's just a princess. Belle is with it. She's just a princess. Elsa's got issues.
Hi, baby. What is it? What is it, my handsome boy?
He's a good boy.
He's a good, handsome boy. I love you. I love you.
He's in love with me. That's so cute.
I know she is.
That was cute.
Gavin's like, no, I will love you, mommy. Thank you, Gavin.
Yeah.
You're a good boy. You're handsome.
They make cat food with carrots in it. Yeah, that I think they do.
Do they?
I think they do.
You eat carrots. Did you know that?
You like carrots? Gavin, you want food? He's so cute.
He loves his fish.
He loves his gravy.
Yes. Wow. He's my baby.
Yeah.
You're so good, baby.
All right, we're gonna get to Charlie.
Yeah, can you please pray for me?
Yes. What the fuck? Whoa, that's weird.
The then 32-year-old Charles Manson had spent more than half of his life in correctional facilities.
That's
In
sad.
fact, on his final release from prison, on March 21st, 1967, Charles claimed that prison had essentially become his home.
Yep.
He even asked for permission to remain behind bars.
Wow.
He was denied. Perhaps if the
They threw
authorities
him
had
out
known
anyway?
the monster he would inevitably become, they would have begged for him to stay in prison.
La petite carrot, yeah.
Once Charles was officially a free man, something rather peculiar occurred. You see, Charles Manson had something captivating about him that intrigued people. Something that made people stop, stare, and listen. When he was released from prison, Charles lived mostly by begging for survival until he met Mary Brunner, a library assistant at Berkeley, and he moved in with her.
Berkeley.
Eventually, they shared the residence with 18 other women, and Charles soon found himself developing a small following of misfits, all from the state of California. He dubbed himself as a guru, with most of his followers being women, though a few men also found themselves
Crazy
incessantly
brother.
interested in the life that Charles had started to lead after years of imprisonment and abandonment. At the heart of Charles's cult-like group were individuals by the names of Charles Tex Watson, Robert Beausoleil, Mary Brunner, Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten. Each of Charles' followers was lured in seamlessly by Charles as his personality led people to trust him, and the lifestyle he offered fit perfectly into the 1967's Summer of Love. Charles offered a place of belonging for many, where they practiced free love and indulged in consuming newly accessible drugs. The group, under Charles's leadership,
Now, see, who actually says that he was the leader of that? Maybe they were just all hating together and doing drugs.
That's always what it looked like and sounded like to me. They didn't have a leader. He was just like,
Yeah, none of them said he was a leader. That's the thing.
he's the head personality in the group. That doesn't mean
Hey, man, he wanted to go back in jail, so... He knew it was his home.
He wanted to stay there.
Yeah. Hi, Kitty. How are you? Hi, I don't care, Bear. I'm doing okay.
Referred to themselves as the Manson family, a title that would end up plastered on newspapers
Better than
for
yesterday.
years to come. Despite the popular assumption that Charles was a hippie and that he had created a hippie cult, he actually saw himself as distinct from the phenomenon of hippies.
No, he calls himself a beatnik. I was a beatnik.
Yeah.
He doesn't say he was a hippie. He said he was a beatnik.
Yeah.
The only reason why he was with the hippies is they had the weed. That's his story. Hi, I don't care, Bear. Oh. Yeah, it is better that I'm feeling better. You know. Ah. You blinked at me. You blinked cutely.
He's a blinky boy.
You're a cute blinky boy. Gavin, would you like to sleep in my arms today?
He's like, yeah.
I would love to cuddle my baby.
Yeah.
My Gavin bear.
Gavin.
Ayabo.
Gavin does.
You're a good boy.
Yeah. Gavin does.
Despite the men's long hair and women's flowing dresses, Charles believed that hippies were weak and refused to call his group hippies, instead using the name Slippies.
Slippies?
Yeah, it actually is a good distraction to tell you the truth. Great Scott.
He chose the name to refer to how the Manson family would often slip into the homes of the rich and steal from them.
Oh.
Before the inevitable infamy that would come as a result of the Manson family's formation, Charles had wished for another kind of fame. He was a musician at heart, and in prison he had learned to play the steel guitar from a bank robber named Alvin Car.
He was good at music, though. Like,
Yeah.
Hollywood took a lot of his songs.
Yeah.
So, like, he was good at what he was doing.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Purpose. Charles had even met with Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys on multiple occasions
See?
to discuss music and the potential release of new songs. Unfortunately for Charles, he often found him.
Bet you guys didn't know that some of the Beach Boys songs was from Charles Manson.
That's pretty out. That's nuts, ain't it?
How they act so wholesome, and here they are taking this. They're taking his music and playing it, but yet they like shun him and stuff. But yet, you know, it made them money.
He's a monster, but yeah.
Yeah, you sure like using his money. I mean, it doesn't matter if they took his song and slashed his name out of it. His music is still being glorified.
Yep.
And
That's
Charles knew that.
Of course.
Himself and his musical talent specifically being taken advantage of by those around him. In fact, the Beach Boys even ended up stealing an original song written by Charles himself, and both recorded and released it without giving any credit to him.
Wow. There you go.
Putting his music woes behind him, Charles
Did I just say that?
Yep. And there's your proof. It's in this. It's like they fact checked this shit.
There you go.
That happened.
See, I know my facts.
focused on his newfound role as a leader of his group of malleable minds. Something deep within him had been rather disturbed for years, but he never truly had a means of expressing it properly. That is, until he had a following. Charles took his time, ensuring that the members of the Manson family were loyal, trustworthy, and believed the notion that he would always be there for them, even when the rest of the world wasn't. Charles had successfully gained the trust of each member individually, and would further solidify their respective relationships with him by providing them with drugs, emotional support, and constant reassurance that they needed each other. Charles's constant display of manipulation in the form of affection was integral to the tight-knit status of the Manson family as a whole. More so than that, it was the key
Or
reason.
maybe they were just a bunch of people hanging out and fucking each other.
Yeah. That was
I mean,
a big part of it.
You could spin it how you want to. Like, literally, they were just a bunch of people going around and fucking each other and talking about how they love each other and how they need each other.
Taking drugs.
But yet they're trying to spin it into a bad thing, per se.
They were taking drugs and fucking.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like,
that's not bothering anybody. That's not bothering anybody. But then Tex comes along and says, let's do this.
Tex was the one who introduced all the violence.
Yes. Period.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
Why the members of the Manson family were willing to do anything for Charles and obey his every wish. They truly believed he would do anything for them, and they should do the same. Throughout the year of 1968, Charles convinced the Manson family that they were the reincarnations of the original Christians. With this understanding, he also told them that the establishment was a representation of the Romans, who had martyred many of the first Christians. This type of anti-establishment thinking was a prominent counterculture in the 1960s.
Well, it kind of is now, too.
Mm-hmm.
That type of thinking. That sounds... I know. I've done that so many times, is go in some tall grass and just put my arms in the grass like that.
Does it feel good?
And just feeling the earth. Oh.
Okay.
It does feel good.
You like the sand.
I do. I love the sand. I love earth. I really do.
You'd get along with flower children.
I love nature. I am a hippie. I'm a hippie at heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I should have been born in like the 60s or 70s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the 60s. 50s? 50s? Yeah.
Yeah, you would have burned your bra and shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would have been a hippie.
Fuck, man.
It would... It's living.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. It's living.
He also became fixated with the, quote, idea of an imminent apocalyptic race war between America's black population and the larger white population. In fact, Charles thoroughly believed that during the...
Well, that pretty much has happened now.
Yeah. Her hair's fucking nuts.
Yeah, her hair is nuts. Dude, her dreads are awesome.
Yeah, it's sick looking. Like it.
The inevitable race war, the black population would spare the lives.
See, they're even taking the freaking, like, when BLM and freaking Antifa was going out, they even taking, like, freaking scenes from them. It actually happened.
Prophet.
Yeah,
That's why I say he was a prophet. Okay?
There's your Helter Skelter. I said that. I think I made a video called Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
Telling people, like, dude.
There it is. I made a video called Helter Skelter on my channel.
Yeah.
Years ago.
It happened.
Yeah. Charlie was...
And these people are acting like that didn't happen, but yet it's using scenes of it actually happening.
happening.
That's ironic as fuck.
Yeah.
Only the Manson family, and kill all other white people across the country. The Manson family believed that they were an elect group and would be spared because they would preserve the worthy during the upcoming apocalypse. Charles himself reportedly believed that he would be the leader of the people who remained after the race war, as they needed, quote, a white man to lead them. He would then become the master.
No, Manson. That's not how it works, dude.
You need a white man to lead you.
No. No. You need a Jewish man called Jesus to lead you.
There you go. Well, he was on board with that, though. That's the crazy thing.
I know, right?
That's really weird, but because people perceive him as like a horrible devil person, but he was actually a non-denominational Christian.
He probably using that face because he got sick of the reporter.
No, that's what he would do to defend himself.
Yep.
He'd act crazy so that people would leave him alone. Like he said it. It was an act to get people to leave him the fuck alone. Because he was bullied so much. That's it.
He was just done with life,
He
man.
was bullied too much.
His whole life.
Yeah.
During this same time, Charles became fascinated with the Beatles' song Helter Skelter. According to former Manson follower Catherine Scher, he believed that, quote, the Beatles had tapped into his spirit, the truth, that everything was going to come down and the black man was going to rise. It wasn't that Charlie listened to the White Album and started following
so good.
what he thought the Beatles were saying. It was the other way around. He thought that the Beatles were talking about what he had been expounding for years. Every single song on the White Album, he felt that they were singing about us.
Nuts.
The song Helter Skelter, he was interpreting that to mean the blacks were going to go up and the whites were going to go down. In the months after the song's initial release, Charles and the rest of the Manson family transformed into a kind of doomsday cult and spent a significant amount of time preparing for an attack of their own. One that would alter the course of Charles' criminal history for the worse. After the Manson family's constant movement from place to place, they decided to record their own album, like the Beatles, which would serve as the catalyst to begin Helter Skelter, the name Charles gave to the race war. They believed that their album would change the world. Simultaneously, the Manson family prepared their escape from the race war, where they
Explore With Us agrees with me that Helter Skelter is what Charles Manson named the race war.
Yeah,
so
that's correct. Yes.
I think I'm correct with what I was saying.
Because Manson believed the song was about race war.
Okay.
That's what he believed, yeah.
You can be invalidating if you want to.
wait out the violence, including vehicles, maps, and a canary yellow home in the Canoga Park, known as the Spawn Ranch, but nicknamed the Yellow Submarine. The Manson family had prepared their race war inciting album.
Isn't that interesting? That was nicknamed the Yellow Submarine.
Isn't that crazy?
Who's on the Yellow Submarine?
Well, the Beatles. That's the Beatles.
Who else?
Album. You mean? I'm sorry. I'm not. Oh no, that's not the album.
No, that's not. It's
Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts.
Yeah, you're right.
That
I'm wrong.
Crowley is on, but that don't matter because John Lennon loved Crowley. John Lennon was a Crowley fan. Okay, definitely. Now, did he get out of Crowley? Like, when he was into his peace and love shit? Did he get out of Crowley? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about John Lennon to know. I think he probably did leave the Crowleyan Satanism, because I don't think people stay in that too long, unless you're bloodline into it, and yeah, that's everything to you then. And you'd never leave it, you know? I don't think... It's just me personally.
Oh!
What's going on?
Oh! Oh! Okay, this is the U.S. Sun, right? This is what it says. Not alone. Troubling surge in UFO sightings in sensitive U.S. military airspace poses threat to nation, new report reveals.
What?
We're about to be attacked.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're afraid we're about to be attacked by the frickin' aliens.
There's a lot of UFO shit going on. At bases?
Yeah.
At bases?
Yeah.
Maybe they know that there's going to be a big nuclear thing about to happen.
Yeah, something's going on.
And they want to stop it.
It's also noted that some of the spotted objects demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh. Ah. Right, Chodosaurus? I wish we got attacked by aliens. Anything to break up the monotony. I think Shanny would survive an alien attack, but not Rev.
No. Probably not.
My ass would survive.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel too anemic
I'm like Cher.
to fight.
I will survive the nuclear apocalypse with the roaches and Cher. That's what I'm like.
There's a Gavin here and he's cute. I love you, Gav. What a good boy. Gavin, good boy.
And they planned to play it for the famous record producer, Terry Melcher. It seemed that Charles still hadn't given up his desperate dream to be recognized in the music industry.
Bye.
Yet Melcher never showed up and rudely snubbed them. Many people believe that Charles must have been a terrible musician, but in fact, Neil Young actually compared his music as, quote, quite good. Then in May 19...
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Like, Hollywood wasn't stealing his songs for no reason. Just saying.
Yeah, talent.
Like, you're alone in a prison and you got a guitar. Guess what? You have a lot of time to learn how to use a freaking guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got a lot. So, like, that's straight up, man.
Bro.
1969, Melcher showed up to Spahn Ranch, where the Manson family was living, to hear their music. Charles expected Melcher to record them, and he even had a friend accompany him with a recording unit, but he did not make their desired record. Charles vowed never to forget this experience with Melcher. It was March 23rd, 1969, when Charles alone went to Terry Melcher's old residence at 10050 Cielo Drive, where movie actress Sharon Tate and her husband Roman Polanski were living.
Fucking story.
Tate was 8.5 months pregnant and was missing her husband, who was filming in Europe.
God, she was one of the most beautiful women.
Yeah, she looked like an angel. How does that guy end up with that? I don't get that.
That guy is a disgusting pervert.
There you go.
Like, I always have, like, the conspiracy theory that maybe he was involved in this. I mean, Rosemary's Baby. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Charles was seen by Shiro Katami, a photographer who was at the house to take pictures of Tate, before she was due to leave for Rome. Hatami watched as Charles entered the premise and headed towards the main house. And when Hatami...
When Tarantino... Why is it like Tarantino?
What the hell? That's weird.
It's really weird since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Did Tarantino do that as a joke?
I don't think so.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is about this shit.
I know that. That's funny.
Someone is trolling.
I guess.
He asked what he wanted. Charles reportedly asked for someone whose name he didn't recognize. Hatami apparently told Charles that the house belonged to the Polanskis, and Tate herself came to see who was there. Together they watched as Charles went to the guest house, and then left without a word to them. He returned again that evening, and asked for Rudolph Altabelli, the property owner who had rented to Melcher and then the Polanskis, and was living in the guest house where Melcher was. Altabelli asked Charles not to disturb anyone at the house, and so he left. But the next day, when Altabelli and Tate left for Rome, she reportedly asked him if that creepy-looking guy had returned. By June of 1969, Charles decided it was officially time for Helter Skelter to begin. His plan was to have his followers commit a series of murders and stage them to appear racially motivated, so as to initiate the race war that Charles had assumed to be inevitable. As their first act, he instructed Tex Watson to defraud a black drug dealer whose name was Bernard Lotsapapa Crow. The plan went haywire immediately when Crow...
Lots of Papa Crow.
Lots of Papa.
Lots of Papa Crow.
What the shit? That's a hell of a name. It's an insane name.
Oh, I love that name. Lots of Papa Crow. Man.
This is a baby boy.
Hi, baby.
Isn't he sweet? He put his hand in my hand.
You're a handsome boy.
Yeah.
Yes, a handsome boy.
He loves you.
Yes, a handsome boy.
He's a good dad.
Threatened to kill everyone at the Spahn Ranch. The Manson family took the threat seriously and shot Crow and Manson's
Oh!
apartment in Hollywood. He expected there to be retaliation from the Black Panthers, though Crow wasn't a member. To prepare, the Manson family began patrolling the Spawn Ranch with armed guards.
Okay.
When no race war began,
That is a fact I didn't know. Manson shot someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that he had done that like once. That he had.
Yeah. That's attempted murder.
Yeah, it is.
He should be in jail for that.
Yeah, that's attempted murder, straight up.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Straight up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
He needed somebody to fucking care for him.
Yeah,
He
but
really
every time
did.
someone tried to put him in a reform school, he wouldn't listen.
No, and he'd run away.
Yeah.
I know.
So maybe a mental facility would have been better for him.
Definitely. Living skills, like coping.
Cognitive behavior therapy.
Yeah. 'Cause he was like lost in his own mind in a lot of ways.
Well, that's because he was in with no one, most of his life.
Yeah, he was just stuck in these places. He's just stuck in places. And then he connected with these people with the free love, in the desert, and that's like, well, that's great, that's like, that was probably heaven to him compared to the way he was living.
I know.
To just be hanging out with girls and doing drugs and having sex, like, don't sound bad.
No.
So there you go.
Charles then set his sights on Gary Allen Hinman, a music teacher and PhD student at UCLA who had become an acquaintance to the Manson family. On July 25th, 1969, some of the members were sent by Charles to see Hinman and convince him to join them and sell his stocks and bonds to give money to Charles. Hinman refused and was held hostage for 2 days. To try to force him to cooperate, Charles himself brought a sword
He cut off
and
his
cut
ear.
Hinman's ear
Yeah.
with it. Bobby Beausoleil
That's what
ended
he
up
admitted
stabbing
to.
Hinman to death.
That is, he did admit to that.
He disrespected me and I took his ear.
And then Bobby stabbed him to death.
Who's Bobby?
The person he was with.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
So he witnessed a murder, so he's accessory to murder.
Yeah.
And attempted murder.
And attempted murder.
Yeah. He should be in jail.
Yeah. How long is a different issue. They put him away forever.
Maybe they just felt like he could never be rehabilitated.
Yeah, that's probably true. And in moments of psychosis, he'd say things like, "If I ever get out of here, I'll kill everybody on the planet." He said shit like that, right?
Well, he has schizophrenia.
I know.
How romantic, Drag. I hope me and Jason give you the candlelight dinner you really want.
And one of the other members used his blood to write on the wall, "Political Piggy," with a Black Panther paw, hoping to stage his death as a racially motivated attack. Beausoleil was arrested on August 6th when he was seen driving around in Hinman's car, and on searching.
Ah, you dumbass. You took the fucking dead guy's car.
Bro.
You took the dead guy's car. He looks like Negs.
Kinda.
Negs would be that stupid and do that shit.
Shit. My guy's
Do you want to get addicted to WoW, honey?
No. But I would be that classic.
You want to tell why you don't want to be addicted to WoW?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What? That girl?
Well, also he doesn't like RPGs.
No, I think Jason would make a great holy pit. That I was gonna say that's the class I would play if I played. I would play a holy paladin. That's crazy, isn't it? I would play that class. But thanks, no thanks. I just don't like the gameplay of WoW. I just don't like it. I've seen it played a billion times. A druid healer, yeah. See, everybody says healer. Yeah.
You're a cleric, baby.
A cleric.
I always played the cleric too.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Babies.
I hate hurting things.
I know. I know. Pretty.
Unless they're demons.
Yeah.
Then I'm all for that shit.
Fuck the demons.
The police discovered the murder weapon hidden in the tire well. 2 days later, Charles told the Manson family that, quote, now is the time for Helter Skelter. Many people now believe that it was Beausoleil's arrest that sparked the horror that would follow.
Oh my God, Manson.
On August 8th, Charles accompanied 4 other members of the Manson family, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, and Patricia Krenwinkel, to come with him back to 10050 Cielo Drive. There, Sharon Tate was visiting with her friends.
Remember when the girls shaved their head bald?
Yeah. And they were singing.
Yeah, that
Holy
was nuts.
shit, that's insanity, bro.
That's a beautiful property.
It's awesome, yeah. Hello.
Hi, Celeste.
Hello, Celeste.
How are you, gorgeous?
Heyo.
You pretty woman, you.
Sebring, Wojciech Frykowski, and Abigail Folger. At the time, Charles had no particular interest in Sharon Tate and her company. Rather, he had picked the Cielo Drive residence as his intended location to hit, because he and Watson had
Make gumbo. Oh my God. Okay.
You're gonna force a sick woman to cook drag? You are evil. Sorry.
It'll happen. Okay, from my homeland.
I will be forced to make cuisines from your homeland.
He wants you to make Creole food. Beignets, gumbo. Okay? Spicy cornbread. Shrimp étouffée. Okay? Jambalaya. Okay? Okay? Cajun. That's some good shit, man. I think Cajun cooking is probably one of the best cuisines in the world. Easy. I think.
I'll knock it out of this fucking park, though.
Yeah, Shanny could make a gumbo, I think. You could do it.
I'll knock it out of the fucking park.
I think you would.
So.
Louisiana cuisine is like next level shit.
But of course, you know I'll add my little Shanny, you know, spin.
Uh-huh. It's good shit.
Happy Friday, Alex. How are you?
I haven't had crawfish in such a long time. I love crawfish.
Oh.
It's really yummy.
Yoshi definitely likes carrots.
Nutritional
both
yeast.
been there
I
together
wouldn't put
once
that in
before,
gumbo.
and were both familiar with the layout of the home.
I
Just
love
past
the taste
midnight
of
on that
nutritional
fateful
yeast.
evening,
I love that.
Charles and the members of the Manson family parked just out in front of the residence and made their way to the home, making sure to clip the phone line to the house as they did. As the group approached the entrances to the home, they noticed a car slowly approaching their location. So Tex Watson went over to the vehicle by himself and leveled a .22.
Drag, this is how I know how to make a good gumbo, okay? When I make the bechamel, you know, the roux, you can also call it.
Mm.
When I make that roux, I'll make sure that it's like extra fucking dark before I add anything else. You know, before I add that trinity.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Of course you know what I mean. If you're Louisiana, you know what I fucking mean about that trinity.
The Trinity.
Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure that roux is extra dark. So.
You know what you're doing.
Hell yeah.
Caliber revolver at a man named Stephen Parent, who had been visiting the property's caretaker in the guest house that evening. Stephen Parent begged for mercy and to be left alone, promising Tex Watson that he would not tell a soul about what he had seen. Despite the young man's efforts, Tex ended up slashing the palm of Stephen's hands with a knife and ultimately shot him a total of 4 times in the chest and abdomen.
Right.
With the only potential witness done away with, the rest of the Manson family helped to push the young man's car out of sight. The group proceeded to cut the
Correct. It is Ewu. Ewu all the way, Alex.
Yeah, I love this shit. Yeah, we were doing that.
That should be our couple channel name. Shanny Cooks Rev's Mukbang.
I want to work on your channel. Like we should build this channel. Whatever we do will be on here.
Okay.
That's how I feel. We don't need a couple.
I've seen you make a roux before. No, you've seen me make a bechamel before.
We have a Rev and Shanny.
Okay, you don't go extra dark when you do the bechamel, okay? The roux is what you make extra dark, okay?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, we like the format too.
Come on now. I know what I'm talking about.
We have a Gavin.
Exactly. You brown a roux, a bechamel, you leave it, you like make it into this, pretty much the color of melted butter.
Mm-hmm. It's important.
Yeah.
And you must have the carrots, the celery, and the onions. You must have that.
Yep.
If that ain't there, it's just the flavor's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. You need that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Drag gets emotional over roux. Well, I'm gonna make him motherfucking cry. He'll be like, "Oh my god, she did it correctly."
It's so good.
She knows. She fucking knows. You know why? I know my daddy taught me how to make gumbo.
Yeah, we're the roux police.
All right, let's get back to Manson.
Screen off one of the house windows. Watson let himself in first, before unlocking and opening the front door of the home for the rest of the group to enter. Once inside, a barely audible whisper from Watson managed to wake Frykowski, who had been fast asleep on the couch just moments before. Watson managed to detain Frykowski, who was...
What does Rev need? Why the title?
Cigarettes. I could use cigarettes, honestly. We don't have any left, so... If you want to know, I could use cigarette money. That's the truth. So if you want to, you could hook me up at @RevDude, PayPal, if you want to. If you're asking if I need something.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you. You guys are great.
What kind of cigs do you smoke? Pall Malls? Oh my god, you love Pall Malls.
That was my favorite brand when I had money, but no, we smoke LD Red 100s. and when I don't go all the way down to the smoke shop and I just go to the convenient mart, the cheapest they got is Sonomas, which are like almost $8 a pack. Almost $8 a pack. Which sucks.
Yeah. True.
But the LDs are like $6 a pack. So most of the time I do my diligence and go the extra mile and go down the smoke shop. You know, but it's like nice when somebody drops like $20 and I could get like a few packs and we're good for a while. That's cool. I like that. But I love you guys. Whatever you want, you're awesome.
Exactly.
I love people, man, because there's somebody always that's like, yeah, you know what? Screw that. I will help you. You know, and that's nice.
That photo is menacing.
It is.
Just the energy, but just dark.
It is dark.
Then forced to show the Manson family where each of the other inhabitants were in the home. One by one, the Manson family took each of the innocent individuals captive in the home, and one by one, they were all killed, despite their desperate efforts to escape. Sebring was shot 7 times. Frykowski was beaten, struck in the head.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. It's just everywhere.
That's insane, bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That poor man.
Really messed up shit.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This is why mental health is really important for everyone. I think as a society, we really need to focus on that. Oh my God. With a kitchen knife? How do you do that with a kitchen knife?
That's insane.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what happened to Sharon is worse. It's awful.
Insanity and really disturbing.
Oh my God.
13 times by Watson, stabbed 51 times, and shot twice. Folger was stabbed a total of 28 times, and Tate was stabbed 16 times, resulting in her death and the death of her unborn child. Upon Charles's initial request for the women to quote, leave a sign, something witchy, Atkins used Shannon Tate's blood to write pig on the front door of the home. The following evening, Charles Manson expressed his disappointment with the fact that their victims had quite nearly managed to escape. So Charles...
Nah, he can't get out on bail anymore. He's dead. Pello. Charles Manson's dead, dude. He can't get out at all anymore.
Charles decided to show them how to do it by leading the next attack himself.
How?
With no real plan, Charles decided to hit a home that he and the other family members had seen at a party the year before.
Okay.
With Atkins, Kasabian, Watson, Krenwinkel in tow, Charles added Leslie Van Houten and Steve Clem Grogan to the mix for that evening's intended murders. Upon arrival at a home located at 3301 Waverly Drive, Charles approached the house on his own, according to Atkins and Kasabian, though Watson later claimed to have assisted Charles in the beginning stages of the attack by entering the home through the unlocked back door with Charles. When the two made it inside, Charles pointed a gun into the face of a man named Leno LaBianca, who had been sound asleep on the couch in the living room. Charles tied Leno's hands together, while Watson fetched Leno's wife, Rosemary, from the bedroom. Watson then covered the couple's heads with pillowcases and bound them with lamp cords, so that Charles had time to retrieve Krenwinkel and Van Houten from the car to help murder the couple. Watson stabbed Leno LaBianca with a chrome-plated bayonet a total of 12 times, before carving the word war into the man's abdomen as per Charles' request. In the bedroom, the women were instructed to kill Rosemary, who they had dragged away from her husband during his murder. In total, Rosemary was stabbed around 41 times. Right. Watson instructed the women to vandalize the home with the murdered couple's blood, while he showered. So Krenwinkel wrote Rise and Death to Pigs on various walls around the house, and used Leno's blood to write Helter Skelter on the couple's refrigerator. At the same time as the LaBiancas were being murdered, Charles then drove the other three Manson family members to the home of an actor he knew. As he dropped them off in front of the apartment complex, Charles ordered the family members to murder the actor, and then make their way back to Spawn Ranch by hitchhiking. Member Kasabian said that they tried to avoid the murder altogether by purposefully waking one of the neighbors and making it impossible for the group to go through.
Looks like we're getting a spammer. Someone's angry person.
Somebody's an angry spammer.
They are. They're angry.
Yeah.
They're mad. They're raging.
Try to chill out, man.
Dude. Peace, man.
It smells so good.
Peace. You feel so much better if you choose peace.
Mm-hmm. Texture. Oh. Oh my God. Smell them. Wow.
Oh.
That's like 90s smell.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mmm. Mmm.
Uh-huh. Lifesaver gummies have gotten, holy shit.
Mm. There should be a law against trolls. Okay, fine then. Mm.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. I don't care anymore.
I don't either.
Through with the attack. It was not long after the Manson family murders were committed that they were swiftly found to be responsible and arrested. Charles Manson himself was found hiding in a cabinet. On the first day of trial for the Tate and LaBianca murders, Charles Manson arrived in the courtroom with an X carved into his forehead and had a statement issued claiming that he had, quote, X'd himself from your world. In the days that followed, more and more of Charles's followers appeared in court with X carved into their own respective foreheads, mirroring their leader. The 1970 Manson family murder trial was both long and strange, as Charles Manson's unpredictable character made for interesting courtroom etiquette. The primary witness on trial was Linda Kasabian, who had been present for all of the attacks during August 8th through 9th of 1969. Kasabian gave a detailed recounting of the murders and went directly into hiding after she testified.
I'll do without the
She was not seen again.
But see, here's the thing. He never really technically killed anyone.
Did you?
Because of that fact, he should have gotten a lesser sentence.
Yeah.
Just saying. How about Lifesavers gummies dipped in chocolate?
That, yeah, like, make like a chocolate, whatever you call that, ganache or what. I don't know what the fuck.
It's ganache.
And you dip them and then put them in the freezer. That would be the shit.
That would be a good, like, Christmas thing.
Yeah. That would kick serious ass.
Ooh, Roxy, I love that. That is trippy.
Is it a key card?
It is.
That's cute.
For the next 40 years. In the midst of the trial, President Richard Nixon himself stated that he truly believed that Charles Manson was behind each of...
I'm kind of upset you guys didn't get lunch today or yesterday. It's okay, Ted.
No, God bless you, man.
Yeah.
Whatever people can afford, we appreciate. If it doesn't come, it's fine.
You've never had chocolate-covered gummy bears before, have you, Pello?
Oh, they're great, actually.
Don't knock it until you try it.
I thought I'd hate it, too, and it did not convince me.
Don't knock it until you try it. That's what I say.
You could try it. You might hate it.
Mm-hmm.
You might hate it.
I doubt it.
I didn't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I'm not going to like this. And then I was like, no, you like it.
of the murders, either directly or indirectly, and should be sentenced as
That looks
such.
like Biden.
As a direct result of President Nixon's comments, Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten sat in the courtroom and chanted, quote, "Nixon says we are guilty, so why go on?" over and over before they were escorted out. Charles began growing increasingly more reckless in the courtroom, and on October 5th, 1970, he actually attempted to kill Judge Older. Charles threatened
Thank you, Alex. It's almost like chocolate-covered strawberries, rich but sweet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think it would, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's yummy.
It's great.
Older while on the stand before lunging at the judge with a sharpened pencil, intending to stab him in the throat. The defendant's counsel ultimately rested their case, and Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Van
What an
Houten
idiot.
said that they wanted to testify.
Maybe
However,
he wanted
the
to go to
three
jail.
women wanted to testify that Charles Manson was innocent
Maybe.
and had
He
no
wanted to
role
go
in
to
the
jail.
murders whatsoever.
Well, yeah, he's...
Manson himself decided to testify away from the jury and stated, quote, "These children that come at you with knives, they are your children. You taught them. I didn't teach them. I just tried to help them stand up. Most of the people at the ranch that you call the family were just people that you did not want. I know this, that in your hearts and your souls you are as much responsible for the Vietnam War as I am for killing these people.
Oh!
I can't judge any of you. I have no
We might
malice
do
against
another
you and no
couple
ribbons
videos,
for you.
right?
But I think that it is high time that you all start looking at yourselves and judging the lie that you live.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
He talked a lot about like a guy that wanted to wake people up.
Yeah. I think after this, I'm getting off because I need to.
Oh, okay.
No, drag. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Live in. My father is the jailhouse. My father is your system. I am only what you made me. I am only a reflection of you. You want to kill me? Ha! I'm already dead. Have been all my life. I've spent 23 years in the tombs that you have built. Despite their pleas, January 25th, 1971, Charles Manson, Krenwinkel, and Atkins were found guilty of first-degree murder in all 7 of the Tate and LaBianca murders. Additionally, the jury found Van Houten guilty of first-degree murder in the LaBianca murder. Manson showed up to the penalty reading with a shaved head, and his beard fashioned into a fork. He said to the press, quote, "I am the devil, and the devil always has a bald head." Each of the 4 defendants were sentenced to death, though the death penalty was then ruled unconstitutional in California in 1972.
He wasn't very smart about it, was he?
Mm-mm.
Being on trial, saying the most insane things he could possibly think of. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. Close death. I just need a rest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
What would have helped is if we got like a bird or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something. That's okay.
Like a burger.
Maybe he wanted an insanity plea. Maybe. Maybe.
2. Oddly, on the same day that the death penalty verdicts were read, the body of Ronald Hughes was found. Though it hasn't been proven, many believe that the Manson family also murdered Hughes as he once stood up against Charles Manson.
Mm.
Susan Atkins was California's longest-serving female inmate by the time of her death from brain cancer at age 61 in 2009. Patricia Krenwinkel is still currently imprisoned, and, since Atkins' death in 2009, is now the longest incarcerated female inmate in the California penal system.
Penal.
Leslie Van Houten is also still currently incarcerated. Charles Tex Watson has been denied parole 17 times.
Good.
And remains incarcerated today.
He should.
Charles Manson lived the rest of his life behind bars until dying of cardiac arrest resulting from respiratory failure and colon cancer on November 19th, 2017. In recent years, new information has come to light. From in-depth investigations into Charles Manson and the rise of his cult, and research that spanned decades, shocking new details have been uncovered.
Huh.
Tom O'Neill, an investigative journalist, began 20 years ago to look into some of the stranger pieces of Manson's case. He says he faced a lot of difficulty seeking answers because many of the records were hidden behind a veil of government secrecy.
Huh.
But O'Neill noticed something odd. Before 1969, Manson's parole officers allowed him to begin gathering his cult of followers around him, even knowing his history of rampant crime. Even stranger, when his federal parole file was subpoenaed during his trial, the U.S. Attorney General blocked them from being released. This was very unusual, unless they contained
CIA MK Ultra.
Oh man, maybe. Charlie was mind control.
They used to experiment with prisoners.
Yeah, homeless kids and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. That's probably it.
Mm-hmm. Watch them say it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
something particularly secretive. It has now been revealed that Manson may have been a lab rat for a CIA-funded doctor who experimented with
MK Ultra!
God,
of
literally.
mind control.
Oh
Many
my
of us
God.
have heard of the mysterious project MK
Said it.
Ultra.
Oh! I called that shit!
Yeah. So now they're actually saying that that's a possibility. That Manson was in
Wow!
MK Ultra.
See, look at it in the comments. I would be surprised. I think you're spot on. I am spot on,
That's
dude.
insane. MK
Ah!
Ultra. Wow.
I called that shit.
Yeah.
That's why he acts so weird.
Insane.
His mind is fragmented.
the CIA mind control program where human subjects were tested on to develop drugs that would weaken them as individuals, making...
And he was sent out to these other people, and he gave them the LSD to infiltrate their minds, and he MK altered them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did this fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care, fine, dude. I just don't care. Whatever.
making them more cooperative to suggestion. The experiments often used LSD, but also other psychoactive drugs. MK only officially ended in 1973.
Mm-hmm.
From what O'Neill was later able to uncover, it appears that Manson was given immunity from prosecution during the exact time that he was beginning to build up.
First of all, MK did not end it. It got rebranded within our media.
Mockingbird.
His devoted following. The only reason he would receive such immunity was if he was a government test subject. The doctor who experimented on Manson likely was Dr. Roger Smith, who worked on 2 federal studies, the San Francisco Project and the Amphetamine Research Project, both of which are now believed to be fronts for CIA MK experiments. As well, Manson and Dr. Smith have a close history weaved together, including Dr. Smith once convincing a judge to release 2 of Manson's followers from jail, and he attempted to help Manson get permission to travel to Mexico, which was ultimately denied. Not to mention the fact that at one point, Dr. Smith had only one client, Charles Manson, and he actually became the legal guardian of one of Manson's children. O'Neill believes that there is sufficient evidence that Manson was not only a subject of these drug experiments, but also learned from them and employed the same methods with his own followers.
I just said that too! Man, I can fucking call this shit so easily.
Be a profiler, whatever. Is there a cabin boy? He's a cabin boy.
Dudes, maybe I'm fucking clairvoyant. Maybe that's maybe that's what I am.
Hardly.
A fucking clairvoyant.
For one, it was well known at the time that Terry Melcher would host drug and booze-ridden parties at his beach house, and Manson would often supply the drugs. This is believed to be how the men met, and why Melcher became involved in Manson's pursuit of music. Putting the pieces together, many wonder if Manson used the same methods of psychedelic drugs to encourage compliancy with his followers, as he likely...
I don't like your language, young lady. Don't do that to men.
witnessed the ways that psychedelics could be used to manipulate people from Dr. Smith, who experimented on him, and he was also known to have drugs in his possession. In 1965, a doctor working on LSD research warned that the drug would lead to LSD cults, where youths who had a desire to, quote, share forbidden activity in a group setting to provide a sense of belonging might cultivate. Note that this was just before the Manson murders began. All of this evidence now seems hardly coincidental, but ultimately, we cannot know for certain.
She was demasculating. I don't like that.
If Manson was subjected to the highly secretive drug tests, or if he then later used the same methods to encourage others to not only follow him, but to commit atrocious murders. Though Charles Manson is no longer a threat to the world, his mentality has left a lasting effect on the people who trusted and admired him, from a distance and up close. In fact, Charles Manson's beliefs and ideologies have been passed down to younger generations, who wish to continue Manson's plight, despite the brutality of the crimes he committed, and the crimes of the rest of the Manson family. Manson himself.
Shanny, you really need to finish your college education. You would make an excellent therapist. Probably.
I bet you would.
I'd love it.
Is even regarded as a true crime icon.
What a dork.
The families of the victims affected by the Manson murders may never have true closure, as cult followings never seem to truly disappear.
Nope.
Rather, their beliefs may be adopted by others, perpetuated right under our noses.
That's correct.
If there is one thing that you take away from this video, I hope that it is this. Be careful who you trust, because we often don't see we are being manipulated until it is too late.
Yeah, some of us can see it from the very beginning, but don't say shit, because they're just waiting. Anyway, I'm gonna end this. I need to lay down.
My baby.
My back is officially like no.
Finito.
So I love you guys. You guys have a good night.
Yeah.